Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Shemi Shad, the belongings to the apostles of G.M.S, the great millstone, who rule well. Salutations to all you Akim on the highways and byways, news in this gospel abroad, on the four corners of the earth and to the ends of the elect. Right, I'm coming out of G.M.S Boston. Do a quick sit down. I don't even know what to call it, but I just want to say a few words on bounds, on limitations, on statutes, on laws, on commands, and the difference between them all, because there is a difference, we got our laws, Leviticus, which when you break that down, that's what it actually means, that's where that word lawyer comes from, and Levites, it all ties into one, but the laws that were given from the Lord to Moses, when he went on the Mount Sinai, we have commandments that the Lord gave us, such as commands to go out on the highways and byways and noise this gospel abroad. We got statutes, which are limitations to things you can do. Statute is a jurisdiction, a bound, you got excuse me, you got see it's lawful to eat, but there's a statute to it. There's a bound, there's a limitation to how much you can eat, and if you pass that bound, you pass that limitation, you supersede that statute, it's gluttony, and that's a sin. That's a transgression of the law. It's lawful to drink, but if you pass that, the scriptures also talk about drinking sun up to sundown, basically sitting there drinking all day like a bum would do, The bum has nothing to do with his life, no motivation to work with his own hands, no motivation to make better for himself. He wants to drink sun up to sundown, so just beg for money. And scriptures also talk about beggars. My son, live not a beggar's life. Nevertheless, before we go down that wormhole, it's lawful for you to drink, but there's a statute. There's a limitation of how much you can drink, and once you supersede that limitation of drinking, man, you're going off because you can't function the right way. Even beating your kid, scripture say you could beat your kid. You know what I'm saying? One shot short of death. But if you sitting there beating your kid and beating them to death, man, that's going off. So there's limitations to things you can do. And the reason why I brought this lesson because before you come into the truth, you have no limitations to anything, man. You have no statutes, you have no laws, you have no commands, and all those things bring about order. You can see the world is the way it is right now because they lack limitations, man. People lack laws, and all with these limitations, laws, and commands, what they bring about is a standard. And when you lack a standard, you have no standard, right? Something you don't have nothing to go by, because the world lives by that "does thou wilt" doctrine. So everybody's pushing this vibration to do whatever the hell they want to do. Everybody's doing whatever the hell they want to do, and because of that, there's no commands, man, being followed, and what you have is chaos and disorder, because the laws bring about order, and without that you have chaos and confusion, because that's what that brings about. Hence you have America, Babel, it's a confused place, and the more you indulge in these scriptures, the more you see the right way things are supposed to be done, the more you get pissed off, because all your eyes are made to be held is the bad way, the worst way things are being done. Before I even continue to go on, I'm gonna read this out of Habakkuk, the first chapter, because this is what our eyes are made to be held. I'm gonna read through and then I'll get to the point. Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 1. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear, even a cry unto violence, and thou wilt not save. Why dost thou show me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and they that are rise up in strife and contention. Therefore the law is slack, and judgment doth not go forth. For the wicked does compass about the righteous, before wrong judgment proceedeth. Again, in verse 4, it says, therefore the law is slack, and judgment does not go forth. So because the law is slack, and judgment doesn't go forth, you see what you see. You beheld, your eyes are forced to behold grievance. You're forced to work with alongside homosexuals. You're forced to take commands from Edomites. Why? Because the order is not set in place. The order was set for Yasha'Allah to give out the rules, to crack the whip, to show you heathens how to live. To show these heathens how to live, which is the people from the other nations, the people that are not of so-called Negro, so-called Hispanic, and so-called Native American blood. So since the world is out of whack, you get what you get. I'm forced to work behind, or work next to people, transsexuals at my gig. I got women that's over me at my gig that can't do anything concerning mental power, meaning they don't do anything concerning what's right or what's wrong, but they feast off their emotions on how they feeling that day. And this is what I'm forced to. This is what we're forced to hold, man. This is what we're subjected to. When you talk about your family, whenever there's a structure, whenever there's an order, whenever there's a chain of command, things just flow better. And without that, you see the chaos, man. Any woman, any child, any I won't even say a child, because Paul said, roughly paraphrasing, when I was a child, I did things as a child, but when I became a man, I put off childish things. Now we tend to focus on the fact that Paul said, when I was a man, I put off the childish things, but children, they're children, man. They do childish shit. You know, so you can't expect anything from a child. But as far as an adult, you're forced to live by these standards, man. And the world has no standards at all. But the scriptures give you structure to your whole life, your whole being. It gives you direction. Without it, you're moping and groaning. You got curses on you, you don't know it. That's the worst. Because you don't believe the curses are on you, don't mean you ain't cursed. Like, to see people in this world, go about their life, man, in this truth, is crazy. Because their life is written out for them already. Just knowing the prophecies, we know the future. By knowing the future, we know the do's and the don't. That's why being in this truth, all praises to Yahweh Shimi Shai, and honors to the elders for not leaving us dead, but keep pushing on to give us brothers this knowledge through the Spirit of the Lord, man. We know how to spiritually discern these situations that we in. We know how to weasel in and out of this life, man. You know, and we know why. Even when we catch the hell, we know why we catching the hell, man. Endurance, integrity, order, statutes. These are things that we live by being in this truth, man. And these things give you structure. That structure gives you rules and guidelines. Those rules and guidelines give you personality. That personality gives you character, and along with your character, it gives you your culture, man. Your understanding. It gives you a limitation. Now I'm all set. No more drink. No, I don't want another drink. Oh, you're married? Oh, I don't deal with married women. You know? Oh, that's his? No, I'm not gonna take that. It doesn't belong to me. I'm not a thief. You know? Those laws were given to us. This is Romans chapter 3, verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? God forbid. Yet let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, thou mightest overcome when thou art judged. So are people underneath the curses, and knowing that they're underneath the curses, Some don't even believe the scriptures. So what? Because they don't believe the scriptures don't mean they're not cursed? No, it just means that they're liars. That they can't see it, that they've been blinded. That they've been blinded. And the reason why I'm doing this show, because recently I've it hit me, like a ton of bricks, man. Like, man, these order, statute, commands, integrity, all these things tie into one. This truth, this word, and making you a man. And these are things you gotta practice right now, man, because the Most High is making judges out of us. We all in law school when you're in this truth. You're in law school right now, man. You're in training. When you're going through these streets and you're going through these hills, understand you're being refined. And like the brother Amos always says, ask yourself, what are you learning, man? When you're going through this journey called life and this truth, man. Throughout every lesson, good or bad, or whatever happens to you, through your struggle, you catching hell at work, you catching hell through your women, your children, your moms, your family, just being oppressed, period, getting poked over and knowing how to do even those type of things, man. Don't be acting like a nigga when you get poked over by the police. Agree with your adversary quickly, lest he throw you in jail, man. We know you don't got no rights, talking that constitutional bullshit like these niggas do, because they think that they're free, man. When you in this truth, man, these scriptures can make you to turn you into the best of anything, man. That's why it's written, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Because you're supposed to be a chameleon. You're supposed to be able to go around, these guys and talk this shit. These bankers and talk this shit. These lawyers and talk that shit. These historians and talk that shit. These so-called Bible scholars and talk that. You're supposed to be have a little bit of knowledge about everything, man, concerning everything. So therefore, you should be a chameleon. You're at work, you should be the best worker. Anywhere you be, you should be the best. And these scriptures give you the blueprint to it. Just the knowledge and wisdom, understanding that we have is that blueprint, that script that we gotta abide by, that we gotta rule by. And then, not to mention the power of Yahweh Shai. The Lord said, "I'll ask in my name and I'll give you." He gives wisdom freely. That's a small thing to him, but you gotta ask and you gotta have faith that it's him giving it and he's dealing with you. So with that, man, just a quick lesson on standards, man. A standard is very important. You gotta have a standard. You gotta have a limit. There has to be that line in the sand, so to speak, And what you say enough is enough, or I'm all set. Because if not, you'll fall by the wayside, man. You'll fall by the wayside in this thing. And with that, man, I just want to say double honors to the elders, the apostles. Salutations to all you Yakim on the highways and byways, and those in this gospel abroad in the four corners of the earth. You brothers keep pushing. You brothers give me inspiration through the Spirit of the Lord, of course. And just keep cursing this place out. Keep pushing, man. It's not easy when you come to serve the Lord. Prepare your heart for temptation. It's not easy as we're going through these straits, but Lord willing, He's gonna come soon for His elect. Lord willing, we are part of that elect if we keep striving for diligence and be diligent to make our election sure. Lord's will, man, we see the destruction in this place and the destruction of our enemies, and we get to establish the kingdom of heaven. With that, shalom.